some offensive line thoughts, and then we get out of here, right? Will Levis was pressured on 52.3% of his dropbacks last night per PFF charting. The league average for reference, Titans last night, 52.3% of dropbacks, there was pressure. League average this year is about 35%. Some of the worst offenders, Andre Dillard, shockingly, allowed 1 sack and 7 total pressures. Peter Skoronski, 0 sacks, 5 pressures, not his best game at all. Aaron Brewer, 0 sacks, 4 pressures, a fine game from him. The only guy on the offensive line that stayed in the entire time, by the way, stayed healthy the entire time. NPF, 1 sack, 3 pressures, which sounds not that bad, but it was on 10 pass block snaps. So on 10 potential opportunities to fail, he failed on 4 of them. I'm assuming the sack and the maybe 3 of them. 1 sack, 3 pressures on 10 total pass block snaps. No good. Can't do it. Dylan Radins, 0 sacks, 3 pressures, and he played, I think, north of 20 pass block snaps. So maybe the best performance across the board for him in that game. Let's run through real quick the permutations, and I might have this wrong, but I did some digging back from tweets from those of us in the media pool that were at the game last night and tried to piece together the timeline of what this offensive line looked like in this game. Okay, a big part of the loss here was the revolving door at the offensive line and the fact that you had 2 of your best 3 corners out for a lot of the game. The injuries really started to pile up for the Titans, and having this mini bye after this game is, I think, a very needed thing for them. But here's what the offensive line looked like for the entirety of the game, start to finish. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different versions of the offensive line as the game went on. Started out with, from left to right, Dillard, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, NPF. Right? Then Dillard, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, Radins, who came in for an injured NPF. Then Dillard, Skoronski, Brewer, Radins kicked inside for an injured Brunskill, and NPF comes back in at that right tackle. Then Dillard, Levin coming in for a hurt Peter Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, Radins kicking back outside for NPF. Brunskill comes back in. NPF goes out and is hurt with a shoulder injury, is questionable to return. Never does. Then it was Dillard, Skoronski back in, Levin back out. Aaron Brewer, Brunskill, Radin still at right tackle. Then it was Jalen Duncan, 6th round rookie Jalen Duncan in for an injured Andre Dillard. You know, they were really scraping the bottom of the barrel when Jalen Duncan had to come out there and play left tackle for them. It was Duncan, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, Radins. And then Dillard again came back. It was Dillard, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, Radins. So a clown car. I mean, a game of musical chairs at the offensive line position. Most impressed with what Dylan Radins did, considering he had to bump inside and outside, come on the field and off the field, and he did a good job with whatever assignment he was given. So that's a big deal for him and for his progression, but for the rest of these guys, really tough. Some notes just on the best and the worst. Andre Dillard, he leads the entire league right now in pressures allowed, 34. Quarterback hits allowed, 9. Sacks allowed, 8. And that's with 44 other tackles having played more pass block snaps than him. And he's managed to lead all of those guys. Something I have to put my hand up on, and our buddy Mike Herndon, friend of the show, we give him crap for being wrong all the time. But he absolutely got this right, and he deserves his flowers for it. I got to put my hand up, was wrong about this. I claimed all summer, I don't care how bad this offensive line is. They cannot be worse than the tackle situation last year. I stand corrected. Holy cow. Andre Dillard can't be off this roster fast enough. And NPF has looked really bad so far, frankly. It's not been good. Alex Highsmith last night generated 11 pressures against the Titans, 9 of which came in matchups against Andre Dillard. Good Lord. He can't be gone fast enough. You could go ahead and write in Sharpie. He's a cut as soon as this Titans season is over. And we're at the point now where you can safely say that the Titans starting tackles this season, starting now, should probably be Dylan and Hubbard, right? Dylan Radins and Chris Hubbard, once Hubbard is healthy again from his concussion. Those should be your best 2 guys. I think that they are your best 2 guys on the outside right now. If I'd made that comment 2 months ago, you probably would have started thinking twice before trusting what I have to say, but Dillard and NPF have really been that bad. I think that the number 3 and 4 tackles on the roster should really be the number 1 and number 2 tackles on the roster, and maybe we'll see if they make that adjustment going forward. Another interesting comment today. I don't know what to make of this, but I saw it and I thought it was worth mentioning. Just curious. According to Mike Heath, voice of the Titans, He said on 104.5 this morning, I believe on Ramona, Kayla, and Will in the morning. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, not Ramona. Sorry, Ramon. He said, we had a very interesting discussion with the Titans coaching staff about Jalen Duncan this week, and they're very up on him. Interesting. He's been on the active roster for a good bit of the season. He made the cut for the team. He was a guy in the 6th round who I was pre-draft really pushing, like, if you want a flyer on a tackle, a developmental tackle in the later rounds, go get Jalen Duncan. So I was quite pleased when they went and got him. I was underwhelmed by his performance in the spring, and then underwhelmed again in the summer during training camp. But sounds like he may be coming around. DP saying, I'm honestly down to see Duncan play over Dillard or MPF. It can't be any worse, I think. Careful saying that. As you just said, we said that last year. Coming into this year, it can always be worse, apparently, is the lesson we're learning here. But that is interesting on Duncan. And the last thing I'll say, here I am back at the dead horse. Just we're going to whack, beat away. Peter Skoronski should still be given a chance at left tackle. Sorry. Like, if you, and this is a point I'm seeing made by folks online, it's one that I see folks kind of disagree with vehemently when they think, here's the common disagreement, right? It's like, why would you move him out to left tackle if you're wanting to make him a guard? If maybe you get marginally better tackle performance this year, whatever, who cares about this year? It's not about this year. It's about the future, and you want to make him a great guard going forward. Sure. Fine. No issue with that. My counterpoint to that is, if the season truly means nothing more than being a fact-finding mission on what you can learn about this quarterback, learn about this roster, learn about what you're going to be in 2024, why not let the young man play when he was a stud left tackle in college? And there's a chance that he could be an outlier. Like, you don't know. Of course, the Titans coaching staff thinks that they know. They think that they know what this guy is based on practice. I would point out they also have thought they've known what Dylan Radins has been this entire time. And we've seen that make them look kind of foolish a couple of times now when Radins had to come in at tackle and has played pretty well. So, like, they're clearly fallible. They are fallible in this department. I see no reason to not give them a chance, because, listen, you're going to have to go out and buy with your cap space or with your draft picks. You have to use very, very valuable assets, valuable capital on probably 2 tackles this offseason. Like, that has to be your number one priority, at least getting one really serviceable, really good tackle in the building, probably 2. That's going to be expensive. It's going to be costly. And if you might be sitting on one already, wouldn't you like to know if you are? Like, for sure? Wouldn't you like to find that out without a shadow of a doubt? Because the positional value, yes, the argument still you hear all the time. Well, even if he can play tackle, he's a better guard. Buddy, that's most tackles that's the nature of the position. It's harder to play tackle. The guy's positional value of a guy like Peter Skoronski is a Madden level, 85 at left tackle and a Madden level 97 at left guard. Yeah, he's the better guard, but an 87 left tackle is so much more valuable than a 97 left guard. It is so much more valuable. It's so much harder to find. The drop off from good tackle to bad tackle and good guard to bad guard, the difference is monumental. It's a Grand Canyon between good tackle and bad tackle. The replaceability factor for the interior offensive line, it exists to a level that the tackle doesn't even sniff. Like, this feels so obvious to me. Give the guy a chance. Just see what you might have in him. And if it doesn't work, then you can at least know, okay, we definitely need 2 new tackles. Cool. This guy's gonna be a great guard for us. Excited about him. Excited about our future.